Cheap office chairs that look good on a showroom floor often end up feeling like a disappointment the moment you sit down for a full workday. I've seen the regret on people's faces when a low-price mesh seat suddenly collapses after a few months, or when an adjustable seat barely moves and leaves them stuck in an awkward posture. So the question I kept asking myself before I even tried the Steelcase Think office desk chair was, does this feel like a smarter buy, or am I just swapping one gamble for another? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When you're setting up a home office or a small corporate space, the first thing that makes you hesitate isn't the price tag, it's the fear of spending a few $100s on a chair that won't hold up through back-to-back Zoom calls, long spreadsheet marathons, and the occasional stretch break. I've been there, scrolling through endless listings, reading the same promises of ergonomic comfort while trying to picture how a chair will actually feel after you've been in it for 8 or 10 hours. The Think chair tries to solve that uncertainty with a few concrete ideas: a flexors track that moves with you, a pneumatic lift that lets you fine-tune height without a crank, and a weight test that guarantees performance up to 300 pounds. Those aren't just marketing buzzwords, they're the parts that matter when you're actually sitting. First off, the flexors track. Steelcase calls it an innovative back and seat flexors track, and the concept is pretty straightforward. Instead of a rigid back that forces you into a static position, the back and seat have built-in sliding elements that respond as you shift weight or lean forward. In real-world use, that translates into a subtle, almost imperceptible movement that lets your spine follow its natural curve. I tried the chair during a typical workday, typing reports, leaning forward to read a printed contract, and then reclining a bit while taking a phone call. The back flexed just enough to keep pressure off my lower lumbar without any noticeable click or sudden snap. For people who spend more than 5 hours a day at a desk, that dynamic support can reduce the fatigue that you usually feel after a rigid chair forces you to stay upright. The pneumatic seat height is another practical win. Most budget chairs use a hand crank that can feel gritty and can leave you stuck at an odd height if the mechanism seizes. The Think's gas lift moves smoothly, and you can adjust it in small increments. I found that I could set it exactly at the point where my elbows were at a 90-degree angle when my hands rested on the keyboard, a detail that sounds tiny but makes a noticeable difference in shoulder tension over time. The lift also stays where you set it, even after hours of shifting weight, so you don't have to keep readjusting. Aesthetic considerations often get overlooked in a pure comfort review, but they matter when the chair is the centerpiece of a sleek home office. The Think's clean, streamlined design with a black mesh back and a gray-buzzed fabric seat sits nicely alongside a standing desk or a minimalist work surface. The mesh is not just about looks, it allows airflow, which helps keep you cool during summer months when a leather seat would feel like a sauna. The fabric seat, while not as plush as a high-back executive chair, is firm enough to provide firm support without sinking after long periods. I didn't notice any squeaking or wobbling, and the chair held its shape even after a full day of moving in and out of the seat. Now, let's talk about who should actually consider this chair. If you're a professional who spends a solid chunk of the day at a desk, writers, designers, analysts, remote workers, and you already know that a static, non-adjustable chair makes you ache by afternoon, the Think offers a level of movement and support that bridges the gap between budget and high-end ergonomic chairs. It also fits well for anyone who values a modern aesthetic and doesn't want a bulky armrest package dominating the visual space. The 300-pound weight capacity means it accommodates a wide range of body types without compromising the flexors track's performance. On the flip side, if you're a casual user who only sits a few hours a week, or you're strictly looking for a chair under $150, the Think might be overkill. Its price sits above most entry-level options, and while you're paying for the flexors system and a sturdier build, those benefits only become apparent with sustained use. Also, the chair comes without built-in armrests, which some people rely on for shoulder support. If you need thick cushioning or a deep recline for occasional naps, you'll find the seat a bit firm and the recline limited. Tall users, especially those over 6 feet, might also feel the back isn't long enough to support the full spine, since the design focuses on a mid-back profile. Practical weaknesses become clearer when you test the chair in different scenarios. Because the seat is fabric, you may